Awesome. Hey everyone, it is Eli with Creative Table. I'm joined here today with Chris, the man, and nobody else. It's just me and Chris today.
Just the two of us. You don't know that
just
song.
Just the two of us.
Oh, you do?
Yeah,
wow,
I do.
Your dad raised you right. What can I say?
I'm not that young.
What can I say?
Yeah. But no, me and Chris are here today to discuss the ins and outs of screenwriting and hope to answer the question of how to become a good screenwriter.
Or a better screenwriter.
Or a better screenwriter.
Yeah.
If you're already a good one. Or a not terrible screenwriter if you're a really bad one. Right. So, going to be answering that
valid.
Question.
Yeah. Very valid.
Yeah. Going to be answering that question today. And yeah, Chris, glad to have you.
Glad to be here.
We are going to be doing everything from looking at good screenplays to talking about story and structure and what makes great movies work.
And how we learned what we learned. And
that's right.
Things that are helpful, things that are not super helpful.
Yeah. So I guess for me, I went to film school, studied a lot of screenplays. I learned from the late, not the late, he's still alive. I learned from the great Michael Lucker.
But maybe he's late to meetings a lot, so you can still call him that.
Yeah. Okay. Michael Lucker, who wrote many animated movies, including some Disney animated movies like Lilo and Stitch 2 and
classic
stuff like that. He's been all up and around Hollywood. Worked as an assistant to Steven Spielberg for many years. So got to learn screenplay from him, and yeah, he's phenomenal. Chris, you come from a very different perspective. I guess.
Yeah, I've been writing prose for years and years, mostly essays. I ghostwrite books for people, that kind of thing. And mostly nonfiction, a little bit of fiction here and there. So I've always been interested in writing screenplays. I've always loved movies. I've always loved stories. But I didn't really put my nose to the wheel until a couple of years ago. My brother and our whole family, we would do the 48-hour film project every year for about 4 or 5 years. It was a ton of fun. And I wrote a couple things for that. And obviously that doesn't really count. It is so under the gun. And we didn't cheat. We didn't have a really good pre-written script that we then plugged the three test things into.
Right.
We literally started the night.
Sat down.
We sat down with nothing.
Wrote it all night. Yeah.
And, but there was this one idea that stuck with me that I thought the idea of that movie is pretty cool. So, I actually last year, I went to a 12-week, screenwriting intensive at a film studio here in town. And, it was amazing. Mm-hmm. It was frustrating, and it was disjointed in some ways and kind of wildly unorganized.
Yeah. As any film school always is.
Or any film production.
Yeah. Basically.
Unless it's really, 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 really well rounded. I've never worked on one of those.
Still waiting to find one.
Yes, exactly. But it was, I would say it's probably the most helpful creative workshop type thing I've ever been to.
Totally.
And it really helped me bridge that gap from prose to screenplay, and immensely helpful in learning how to tighten up a story.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because prose is just it's apples and oranges.
Totally.
To say the least.
Totally.
It's so, I don't, whenever I pick up anybody, a friend of mine's screenplay who, he's written things before, but it's more novelistic. And,
right.
That kind of thing, you can always tell.
Yep.
Always.
100%.
It's always it's tough.
It's too descriptive for one.
Right. It's too descriptive, and then it's not visual.
Right.
That's the other part. And the first 2 rules of screenplay writing, rule 1A is be descriptive, and rule 1B is be concise.
Yes.
Boundaries
are
rule
our friends.
1C is visual.
Yeah.
Has to be visual.
Yeah. I would love to, for instance, it'd be really fascinating. I don't have this kind of time, but it would be fascinating to look to read Lord of the Rings and look at the screenplay.
Totally.
Because when they made the movies, I was I don't even know how you
Yeah.
approach this.
No, I'm sure to an extent, like it is like, all right, this is a lot. Like this is a lot of words.
But
just in the
Tolkien also, have
screenplay.
you ever read the books?
No, I've
Tolkien
seen
is wildly descriptive.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
pages and pages and pages
of description, of minute detail. And it's awesome. I mean, it's like you can see the places and smell the smells, it's very cool. But then you read somebody like Jack London. I don't know if you've ever read Call of the Wild.
No, but I have heard of.
It's like a pamphlet.
Mm-hmm.
And what's amazing about Jack London, and I think every screenwriter should read Jack London, they should read Call of the Wild, not because these are screenplays, but because this is about as good as concise visual fiction will ever get. Call of the Wild. There's a book that was released under two titles. One is Captain David Grief, and the other is Son of the Sun, S-O-N of the S-U-N. And the third one is called Seawolf, the Seawolf.
Seawolf, okay.
And especially Call of the Wild, it's like 84 pages long.
Dang.
But you will be, you should read it. You can read it in like an evening.
I should, yeah.
And you will be blown away at how vividly described the action, the characters, the places, the settings, we would call them.
Yeah.
You will be blown away.
So it's already like just basically a screenplay. And it's already that.
Yeah, it's not, missing all the format stuff, but it's just so small, and you read it and you come away and you're like, this is like one of the richest, like totally. I can see and smell and hear everything, and you have all the pictures in your mind. So I think those three books are a great, if you're writing prose and you want to make the leap, really study how economically Jack London, I mean, dude, there is not a single wasted word in Jack London.
Yeah.
But you don't miss anything. It's like, it is as rich an experience as, for me, it was as rich as Lord of the Rings. But you could read, for one Lord of the Rings book, you could read 10 Call of the Wilds.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
I would imagine. Yeah, that's crazy. I need to pick that up and give it a read.
It's public domain. You can catch it online.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hint, wink, wink to the
right.
viewer home. No, but yeah, that's awesome. So the 12-week course you said was like really creative and helpful for you. And frustrating in all the right ways and challenging and that kind of, and just a tad disorganized, of course. So like, what was the thing that you picked up from it? I guess.
So I know we're going to talk about this later. I've read Save the Cat. That was a big aha book for me. I read that 3 or 4 years ago. And that helped me really get my head around, hey, here are these, was it 15?
Yeah, it was 15 beats.
Yeah, 15 beats. It's like these beats have to happen.
In a 110-page script.
Yep. And what that helped me see was that, I don't think he describes it this way, but this is what I saw in my mind when I read through the whole beat section of it was, it's like, I want to take the viewer on a voyage from here to somewhere far away.
Right.
When I'm looking out at the wide open ocean, it's so easy to send the viewer in the wrong direction. Like if you want them to go to Hawaii, if you're in California and you want to go to Hawaii, you need to go in this direction.
Yeah, you need directions to get there.
Yes.
Totally.
When you have 15 like little aisles that you can just like, oh, I can see that one from here.
Yeah, there's
I just
another
have
landmark.
To get it game changer. Total game changer.
Yeah.
In our thing, they were called tent pegs, and there's 10 of them instead of 15. But it all encompasses the same stuff. There's
it's all the same. I definitely found Save the Cat's version to be like the most helpful version with the least amount of distance between islands to land on. Like I think the most challenging portions of the story to cover are like from Act 1 until the midpoint, and then midpoint until
break into
like close to Act 3.
Yeah.
So and those are the biggest like 25 pages of empty space that you have to fill.
Yep. But man, if you can see the next beat,
it's a game changer. Yeah.
And I only have to write to there.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man.
Yeah. It's great.
The other thing in this particular class that they talked about, and this was a thing that I didn't really connect with in Snyder's book. He talks about, I can't remember how it's like you put pluses and minuses or something at the end of each beat or each scene or whatever. And for whatever reason,
to character somehow, or like how a character's feeling, or if it's like a victory or defeat for
right,
them.
Right.
It was like math equationed out.
Yeah, it's like I just couldn't get my head around it. But we did an exercise. So the way this class worked, it was really cool. We basically spent the first 4 weeks on some like real rudimentary fundamental stuff. I think week 3 or 4 was like formatting and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But we worked on, like the first 2 weeks, we worked on titles and log lines.
Mm-hmm.
Went from log lines to treatments. Treatment is, for a prose writer, treatment is just Shangri-La. It's so fun.
Yeah.
There's no structure. It's just, it can be as short or as long as you want, and it can include dialogue or not, or what. It's just fun. It's just tell your story.
Yeah.
And you don't have to worry about all the plot holes and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But when we finally got to the scene work, what we would do is we started with a very first draft of our thing. And I think there were 16 or 18 of us in the class, and we break into groups of 4. And the goal of the class was to write a 12-pager. That was the goal.
Yeah.
And part of the reason they picked that length was that was a length that, like, each group of 4, we could read through all 4 so we'd have like teaching time, and then we'd have kind of group time.
Breakout time. Yeah.
Yeah. And so and they'd give us different ways to evaluate our own and each other's scripts as we went.
Mm-hmm.
When we got to like week 8, maybe, they gave us this exercise called but, therefore, and then.
Mm-hmm.
And so those are your 3 options. So you're going to go, as a group, you're going to read a scene, then you're going to read the next scene. And after you've read that second scene, you're going to go back, and at the end of the scene before it, you can only write but, therefore, or and then. And I was like, I didn't understand. They didn't tell us, why we're doing this. They're just sending us through that exercise. And there was, we'd been reading each other's scripts for 4 or 5 weeks at this point, so we were kind of familiar with them. And as you're going through, there are scripts that are like, man, this one's not grabbing me. It's kind of, I can't describe what the problem is.
It just felt a little flat, or
like
it just something's wrong, but I can't put my finger on it.
It was just kind of blah or whatever.
Yeah.
And so we get to the end of this thing, and then our instructor says, okay, so here's the deal. If you have more than 3 and thens in your story needs work, because it means that the scenes are not, the action of the scene is not driving into the next scene.
Right. And
it was just like
eureka.
And sure enough, like the script that I liked the least, it was loaded with and thens. It was just loaded.
For those unaware, that lesson is from I don't remember what it's from. It's something South Park. The South Park creators talked about it. Like that's their rule.
Those guys are masterful.
Yeah.
I mean, they're really
incredible,
really genius.
Yeah, but there's a really famous video on it. I encourage you to look it up. Just look up South Park, but, therefore, and then rule.
Man,
and
it was like instant clarity. It was like a switch.
Yeah,
and the script that I liked best had hardly any. I think it had 1 or 2 in the entire script.
Right. Yeah.
It was instant clarity. So that was huge for me.
Totally. Yeah, man. That's a total game changer. I mean, I think for me, the biggest thing I picked up in school from Professor Lucker, I guess, was he's an awesome guy. The way that he taught things, I guess, was like a little bit like, I really, for whatever reason, I don't know, I can't put my finger on it. I really jived with the way he thought about screenplays.
Oh, same with mine. Like the instructor was an enormous part. He was the reason I think that the organization that he was representing was very disorganized, but like he brought this passion and this focus and energy to it. There got me excited about it.
Yeah, that's exactly, like there was such passion, focus, energy, but then there was also like he was super laid back.
Yeah,
super chill vibes. And one of the things that kind of stuck out to me, I guess, that he went over was just like so many stories, at least in school, from students that they would write had problems left and right, and that kind of thing.
Sure.
One thing he taught, and it seems like a really obvious, like, yeah, duh, like you should do this. But he had you put 4 things at the top of your outline or whatever it was.
Okay.
He had you list the hero, the villain, the mission, and the lesson.
Ooh, I like that.
Who's your hero? Who's the antagonist?
Yep.
Right? What's the mission of the hero? What does he want? And then what's the lesson that he learns?
That's great.
And so often it was like the vast majority of them was like, you're missing a lesson.
Right.
You have no...
Yeah, because the hero has to change.
Right.
Like if he doesn't change, or she, if your hero doesn't change, your story's no
really
good.
Really what that's saying is like, you don't have a theme.
Right.
You don't have a theme to your story. There's nothing there.
Right.
And occasionally, like, there wouldn't be a mission. Your hero isn't driving the story forward and that kind of thing. So, but now, like, now I do that. Like, that's the first thing I put at the top of all of my stories.
Oh,
and
that's
sometimes,
great.
like, I don't
that.
get to the lesson until later.
Right.
Because, like, I don't know
sometimes
what the
it
theme
takes
is.
you a while to figure it out.
That's right.
For sure.
Sometimes I finish the script and I'm like, okay, now what's the kind of the through line? And then I have to kind of discover the theme after the fact.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's like the big thing that he taught me. And then like, I guess the other thing, the other big thing he taught me, or I guess the other big thing he taught me to do or got me to do, was read great scripts. Because I considered, like, I want to be a screenwriter.
Right.
I did not read very many scripts.
Right. And it's a whole different, it's a whole different deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
the big one that he showed me and that I read, because I had to, it was homework. But the big one that I read that really like changed the game for me was Juno. Surprisingly
such a
enough.
good movie. I read the script. This movie's awesome.
Script, it was so, I had never experienced this context with anything before, like reading anything. I started the script, and then what felt like 15 minutes later, I got to the last page, and I looked up, and it's been like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Where did my time go? It's like such a perfect script. It's so good.
It's so funny reading screenplays, especially if you haven't read many of them. Like the first time you just open it up and you look at all the weird formatting, you're like, oh, there's nothing here.
Yeah.
Like this is going to...
It's all white space.
Right. And this is going to be like this clunky read where I get these brackets that are telling me about some shot or some exterior description or whatever. You're like, oh, this is going to be kind of a technical, this is going to be like a...
Yeah, it's a blueprint.
Right.
Like,
yes.
It is a blueprint. Like it's a blueprint to the movie, but it's so much
if
more
it's
than
good,
that. Mm-hmm.
So if you get to the end and you feel like you've read a blueprint, not a good script.
Right.
If you get to the end and you're like, oh my gosh, I feel like I just walked around and lived in the house for a week.
Yeah.
Good story, good script.
Totally.
One of the things that was also helpful, so it was really funny. Like I said, our goal for the class was a 12-pager. And I had this idea for the story from the 48, which is hilarious because it's like what we ran into immediately when we started into production on the 48 was like, oh yeah, that scene's gone, that scene's gone, that scene's gone. There's no way we can like physically shoot these today. We can't even get to like 4 locations today. That one thing, we can't get 4 locations today, so forget it. So I was 3 weeks in and I had only written like 6 pages. And I was like, I cannot go to class again with just these same freaking 6 pages. So I sat down one morning at 6:30 in the morning and I was like, I'm going to go until either I finish or until I run into some plot hole I just can't figure out my way around or whatever.
Right.
And at 7:00 that night, I was done. I didn't eat that day. Like I went to the bathroom twice.
Yeah.
But I sat in my chair and just went, and I wrote 36 pages.
Mm-hmm.
And well, no, I take that back. It was like 38.
Yeah. It just grinded through it.
Yeah.
Like
but it's like, I'm going to tell the whole story.
Totally.
I'm going to include all the pieces that have to be there. And then, so I took that and And my instructor said, dude, I really like this, but like we're trying to see if you can do this in 15 pages.
Mm.
He's like, we're shooting for 12. He's like, I'll give you 15. See if you can get it to 15 pages. I couldn't get anywhere close, but I literally went line by line, scene by scene, dialogue by dialogue, and said, does this have to be here? Does this have to be here? And I mean, it was like this. Oh, but I don't want to.
I love it.
Oh, totally.
It's so good. And like
Stephen King says another book, doesn't matter. It's not about writing screenplays, but another book every aspiring screenwriter should read is On Writing by Stephen King.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things he talks about is kill your darlings. He's like, write your book or your script or whatever, stick it in a drawer long enough to forget about it, pick it up and read it again. And anything you don't absolutely love on that first read, kill it, get rid of it. So I didn't have the luxury of letting it sit for 6 weeks. But, I mean, I spent another probably 5 hours going from 38 pages to 35.
Yeah.
So I took 3 pages out of the script, which just felt like,
felt like everything was.
Oh man, it was such a drag. But holy cow, that thing is tight as a tick. Now there's some stuff I would love to add back. Like we're trying to figure out if we want to do it as a short or build it out into a feature or build it out into the pilot for an episodic.
Sure.
But like as its bare essence, like it's tight.
Yeah.
And it reads fast. Whatever you're writing, set it aside for a little while if you have that luxury, and then pick it up later. And man, the things that are problematic will just like jump off the page sometimes.
Mm-hmm. And it might have been things that like you previously loved about
Totally.
it. Like
Totally.
Yeah. There will be, I can't tell you how many times it's like I've had to go, most of the time it's like I'm having to do this because it's an assignment. Like I have to get it under this many pages. And the professor's like, you can add it back later if you want, but for this assignment, you gotta, and like, I do the work and I take out the things that I love about it, but that weren't strictly necessary. And then I come back to it a bit later and I'm like, it's better this way.
Yep.
And I hate to admit it, but it is. So, yeah.
I have a friend who is an actual professional all the time screenwriter. He and I get together every couple of months, and we were talking about this whole process, and he goes, you go through the 3 F's. And I was like, what's that? He's like, somebody will give you a note on your screenplay and you're like, F you. And then you chew on it for a day or two and you're like, oh, F me. Yeah. And then you go another couple of days and you're like, F it, I'm going to make that change. That's a really good note.
That sums up the thought process pretty well. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, totally.
But I thought of one of the things when I was in that subtractive process that I wanted to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
I remember when I was taking that down from 38, I was trying to get it down to 15, and I knew pretty early, it's like, I can't get it down to 15, but let me see how much I can cut. And like, there was this one line, it was this like zinger comeback that one of the characters says to another character. And it was so sharp and witty and just like had that,
yeah, you enjoyed writing
zesty, as your dad would say.
Yeah.
And then, so I'm looking at it. And one of the things that my instructor said was, evaluate anytime there's something you're thinking about whether to cut it. He's like, does it move your character anywhere? Does it move this story anywhere?
That's right.
And I was like, this sick burn, like it didn't add or subtract from the character. It didn't add or subtract from the story. It was just this fun, like appendage. And it was like that subtractive process helped me see it that way.
Totally.
And made it an easy cut. As much as like at first I was like, no, it's so witty. It's like,
but wait a minute. Doesn't serve a purpose.
Doesn't serve a purpose.
That actually leads me into a great point, which is that good scenes always either move character or story forward.
Yep.
Great scenes do both.
Yeah.
At the same time.
Yeah. And they move you to the next scene.
That's right. Yes.
Like you can't not go to the next scene because of what happened in this one.
That's right. Yeah.
None of the scenes become optional.
If you write like that, if you write like scene by scene rather than trying to tackle a whole 100 pages, if you write scene by scene and every single time you write interior day,
yep,
you say to yourself, okay, how am I going to move something forward in this scene?
This has to matter.
If that is your goal, then you will not write a bad scene.
Right.
Right.
And it'll cost you some frustration of like,
it may take forever.
Right.
Yeah.
You may sit there with like your hands hovering above the keys, just like for longer, but it's going to save you so much time on the back end. Because I mean, I've written a couple things that I was like, it's okay. And then I start to evaluate, okay, what would be involved in taking it from okay to great.
Yeah.
And like on both of the ones that I'm thinking of, I'm like, not worth it.
No,
not worth it.
Just get it out of here.
Yeah, that's just a project that he did. It was just a learning, it was just a piece that I learned from, but
yeah,
on
totally.
to the next. But if you learn to do that on the front end, and then when the thought actually comes and the scene actually starts to build out and flow, it's like, you just get excited because you're yeah.
And then it starts to get, and you're like, you can feel being on the right, in the right direction.
Totally. If you're writing it, it's kind of a drag. It's probably gonna be a drag to read.
Totally. I can tell you. So I'm writing a script right now, a true story script, and it's about, I don't know if you remember like the Sky King incident in Seattle in like 2018. Guy stole empty passenger jet.
Yeah. It was ATR 24.
Yeah, and it was like,
he's a mechanic. He was an airplane mechanic, and he flew it off.
Yeah, and
drove it.
He was
the ground.
and he was on the phone with air traffic control that whole time.
I've listened to that.
I was like, that's
dude,
a movie.
I've listened to that like 3 times.
That's a movie waiting to happen. Okay,
I cannot wait to see that.
And I'm doing it all from just because like reading about the story and listening to it. I'm like, man, like. I really get it. I get why he's the Sky King and like why this I get it. So I'm taking it entirely from the perspective of air traffic control.
Oh.
So it is only in the air traffic control tower with the FBI over the controller's shoulder and all the media like, surrounding it and the airport locking down and like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And the whole movie's like that, and it follows like the through line from like at first like it's a terrorist scare.
Are you telling me we're never going to be in the cockpit with the dude?
I want to do like one shot of him, like just from the rear, never in the cockpit.
Okay, you write that one. I'm going to write the other one.
Yeah, you write the other end of it.
Completely from his perspective.
And then when you overlay them on top of each other, they match up perfectly.
Right.
No,
you could just cut back and forth between the movies every 4 seconds and it works out amazing.
Yeah. But like, so for example, I'm in the middle of it right now. I'm on like page 50 something.
Yeah. You're in the hard part.
Yeah, exactly. A couple days ago, it was like Saturday and I was, I went to a coffee shop to write for a while.
I do the same thing.
It was one of those times where it's like, I sit down to write and it's just like I get off to a great start and it's just flowing. And I think I wrote like 12 pages, which was like a new best. And like,
that's awesome.
In like 3 hours.
Oh, dude,
which is like
killer.
Crazy. I was pounding it out. And then last night I was, still going a few pages later, I was, and it just like I couldn't get off the ground for forever. And I think I ended the night. I sat there for the same amount of time, probably, or more.
Yeah.
And I think I got like maybe 3 pages out. Some of which was just like the transcript of the actual event. So I couldn't even take credit for writing that because that's just like,
right.
So, but like that kind of thing. The entire time I was having to, like, I would write something and be like, that's pointless. That isn't that, and I delete and try and go back and like, it was difficult, but like if it wasn't pushing anything forward, then I was like, I can't go down that road and risk taking it in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
For, I was in one of the longest beats, I guess,
and
between the midpoint and
midpoint is hard.
Yeah. Right after the midpoint, I was like, I can't risk taking the story in the wrong direction for 20 odd pages.
For sure.
Only to get there and realize I need to go back.
Because we've all seen that movie.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, man, that to me has been like the most stark, at least in my writing experience. It's like one day I'm flying through it, and the
Oh,
next
yeah.
day I'm like at a standstill, and I'm not sure, like my outline that was so clear is suddenly not.
And it's not like it's like, oh, I'm writing really well today,
Right.
and I'm writing really poorly the next day. It's not it at all.
No, not at all.
Like that whole experience is the experience.
Yeah. It's
Like-
more just like I get to the page and I'm looking at the outline I have of like each scene summarized that I want to happen. And I'm like, this isn't going to work anymore. And I don't know why. Like it still could work. Like I could write that down.
Yeah.
But like I'm sitting there looking at it, I'm feeling like it isn't going to be good though. Like, and I don't know why, but I have to figure out something else.
Right.
And
our tendency sometimes is to listen to that voice a lot and
Mhm.
not listen to the voice when we're in it and it's flowing and it's like, and we're feeling super great. It's like, oh, that was just a sugar high and this is the reality. It's like, it's
that's
all
right. There's the flip side.
yeah, it's all the reality. I
Yeah,
mean, both of
totally.
those things are going to happen.
Yeah. And that's why when you're flying high, you also have to, keep an eye on your outline over there because
Yep.
And I would say like, it's your screenplay. You don't have to follow your outline, but good things happen when you follow your outline more than when you don't.
That brings up a great point actually about, because we were talking about this earlier about following the rules.
Mhm.
And, people say, oh, well, so-and-so didn't follow the rules. He broke all the rules for blah, blah, blah. But
Yeah.
What was the thing you were saying about that?
You have to know the rules in order to break them.
Yeah. And yeah, really, you have to master them.
That's right.
And when people are, this is really huge. When people, if you ever get to like get someone to actually read your script, like somebody who can buy it or recommend it, or, you're going to get a literary agent or something like that. One of the first things they're going to look at, and I used to think, well, man, why are they being such a hard ass? This seems, but
Yeah.
like if there are typos, if there are grammatical errors, they're going to toss it like immediately. It's not and this is what I didn't realize. It's not because they want to toss it. Like they are hoping to read the next great script.
Yeah.
They're really
Producers never go around looking for screenplays to throw in a trash bin.
Totally. That's a waste of their time.
Yeah.
They're hoping every time they pick up a script, they are hoping it's a great script. But they're like, you know what? It is so easy to get these small things right. It is so easy to get your grammar and your punctuation and your screenplay
I can't
formatting
trust
right.
you with the rest of the screenplay if you can't
Right.
basically write.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, you can take your thing and put it in ChatGPT and just say, hey, spell check this for me, grammar check this for me, make sure this is formatted correctly. Like,
Yeah.
there are no good excuses to not have a flawless or nearly flawless screenplay from just a grammatical, technical writing spec. And that's super important. But second to that, like, okay, let's say everything's perfect. They also want to know, does this person's first script? They're going to know that.
Yeah.
When they get your first script, they're going to know it's your first script. And they're going to say, does he or she know the rules?
Right.
They don't know the rules.
Nope.
No, I don't care
All
if it's a cool story.
It's going
They
in the
don't know
trash.
the rules. And it's not because I'm trying to bounce you.
Right.
It's because I know you don't know the rules. And the chances of you writing a good screenplay, if you don't know the rules, are very low,
Yep.
which means this is probably not worth my time. And I have a stack of scripts this tall sitting on my desk or in my email or whatever. I got 10 other scripts asking me
right.
to read them right now. Bad grammar, out. You don't know the rules of screenwriting, out.
Yep. That's right. I guess so. Like one of my, one thing that I do want to say about that, like, as far when I say you have to know the rules to break the rules, what I really mean is you have to know how the rules work in order. to break them.
Yeah, for sure.
Because just breaking the rules on their own doesn't do anything. Like it just makes for poor storytelling. I mean, the first movie that comes to mind that breaks the rules in the wrong way, for some reason, is Star Wars: Last Jedi. Spoiler alert, kill the big baddie halfway through.
Right.
Whoa, big rule break,
Yeah.
shock factor. Whoa, but like,
Doesn't work for a video game. Usually doesn't work for a movie.
Nope. When you start thinking about it, it like just falls apart story wise.
Yeah.
Like gloriously falls apart. Like,
But I feel like that whole franchise, so much of it there's so many technical things that just got to pass because it's freaking Star Wars. It's like it can't lose. It's Star Wars.
Totally. Yeah.
It can't lose. There's no way it can lose. It's Star Wars.
Yeah,
but
from a story standpoint.
But it's not good.
Yeah, it's not good.
People watched it, but that doesn't mean it's good.
That's right. The best way that I can put it is like metaphorically when you're shooting something, like, right now.
Yeah.
The 180-degree rule, right? You and I, so the camera would always stay on one side of us, like on one side of our 180 degrees. You don't flip to the other side of the room because that's confusing visually if you're cutting back and forth like that. Like our brains don't connect the dots. That's an example of a filmmaking rule.
And if you go watch the 48-hour film screenings when they come out, you will see lots of them
exemplified over and over and over. But like that's a rule that you shouldn't break, except when you do.
You will also see some people at the 48. You'll see some films that you'll be like, wow. Like,
yeah, you shouldn't be here. You should be at.
That was great.
Yeah.
And that was a 5-minute film.
Yeah.
And it like made me think, or it made me feel something or whatever. Totally. It's because they played by the rules.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if it's 5 minutes or 2 hours and 5 minutes.
Exactly. But point being, like, you don't break the 180-degree rule.
Yep.
Unless you know how the 180-degree rule works, which is like when you break it, you disorient the viewer.
Right.
That can serve a story purpose.
Yep.
Like, for example, if you and I are two characters having an argument and I'm winning the argument, but then suddenly you say something and now you're winning the argument, the camera shifts to the other side of the 180 degrees and breaks the rule, and that's disorienting. Good. Like that's an example of how to break it well.
Right.
Correct.
That is a conscious decision that you can explain at the drop of a hat. When somebody's like, why'd you break the 180 rule? Because
it served this purpose to advance the story. Same thing goes for screenwriting. Like
100%.
You don't break the rules unless you know them and unless it serves a purpose to break them.
And for me, this was super helpful with the rules thing because I don't like rules. That I'm kind of that way sometimes. But man, here's the thing. Like when you're starting from scratch or even maybe not from scratch, maybe you've written other stuff like me and you're in a different realm or whatever. Learning these rules, like I'm trying to think of a good way to describe it, but when I wrote my screenplay inside of the boundaries of those rules, like I knew when it was good and I knew why it was good. And it wasn't just because I was writing cool scenes. It was like, no. I get, and as I was writing for that next scene toward that tent pole or toward that beat, I was like, oh yeah, because that gets me there.
Right. Yeah.
And if I get there, then I already know how I'm getting to that next one.
Yeah.
So it's like working inside of those rules for me was massive because it's like I knew when I was doing it right and why I was doing it right. And it like you could feel it when you're writing and you're accomplishing a purposeful thing, you get it.
Totally. Yeah. It's so valuable. And like just, I don't know. It's great to know the rules.
And then if you're Christopher Nolan and now you're big enough to, break a rule, you also get that same feeling when you like, oh, I'm going to break the 180 rule because I'm doing this. Yeah.
That's right.
Then that's a thing. But learning by the rules first,
totally
amazing way to do it.
Yeah. So I guess let's shift gears a little bit and stop talking so broadly.
Yeah.
We thought it would be useful to kind of dig into the minute.
Love it.
And actually look at a screenplay or two.
Love it.
That does things really well.
Yeah.
Like line by line well.
Yeah.
And keeps you reading, So I guess personally biased here, I want to look at Juno.
Oh,
we have a couple
I've never
other,
read the script, but I love the movie.
Yeah. We have a couple other scripts pulled up. So if you think of something that you want to look at, then we totally can. But let's take a look at Juno here real fast. Possibly it's already considered one of the best scripts ever, but I think it's just my personal favorite. So just want to take a look at this and kind of dig into why it works so well and why it sucks all your time away. So, yeah.
An artfully bedraggled burnout kid. Like that?
Yeah, like that. Who thinks of that? So let's just great. for the people on Spotify too.
Yeah.
let's just read it out loud here. The first, I don't know, half page or so.
Go for it.
So, exterior, Centennial Lane, dusk. Juno McGuff stands on a placid street in a nondescript subdivision facing the curb. It's fall. Juno is 16 years old, an artfully bedraggled burnout kid. She winces and shields her eyes from the glare of the sun. The object of her rapt attention is a battered living room set, abandoned curbside by its former owners. There is a fetid-looking leather recliner, a chrome-edged coffee table, and a tasteless latch-hooked rug featuring a roaring tiger. Juno says it started with a chair. Interior, Bleecker House, mold-horrific basement, night. Flashback, Juno approaches a boy hidden by shadow. He's sitting in an overstuffed chair. She slowly, clumsily lowers herself onto his lap. A 60s Brazilian track plays from a vintage record player. Whispered voice says, "Do you know how long I've wanted this?" "Yeah." "Wizard." Back to Centennial Lane. A dog barks, jarring Juno back to reality. "Quiet, Banana. Hey, shut your gob for a second, okay?" We see a teacup poodle tethered in the yard a few feet away from the abandoned living room set. The dog yaps again. "This is the most magnificent discarded living room set I've ever seen." She swigs from an absurdly oversized carton of juice and wipes her mouth with the back of her hand. Begin animated title sequence. That is how you get a screenplay started.
Great, man.
It's so rich. Like, it's so... The biggest block of text
rich,
is
but
that
it's
opening.
not long.
That's right, yes. It's
just
so rich,
amazing.
but the longest block of text is right at the beginning. And that's it. And then from there, it's just blocks of, 2 or 3 lines.
Yep.
Um,
But that block of text, so
Yeah.
you have to, if you think through the process of getting your movie made, let's say it's going to get made. That block of text tells Elliot Page,
yeah.
like that is her play space when she's doing this audition. So, she and X number of other actors are going to get this audition. Okay, there's the boundaries of your playground.
Right.
And oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It is so like you can see it and smell it and just
It's so good.
yeah.
The main thing that this screenplay as a whole and this opening page too, like the main thing it tells me and the main thing that I love to see, I guess, is that this writer loves writing.
Yes.
That's what it tells. So like I have a story about this actually. So
But it's also not self-serving or self-important.
right, yeah. But the point is like, so I had a friend who I write with on occasion, and he'll, send things to me and I'll send things to him, and
Yep.
great and good. He was looking for feedback on a short script he had written. And reading it, like we're close enough that we can give each other like just direct, like, this is what I think of it.
Yeah.
For better or for worse.
Rubbish.
Yes. Delete it. Start over. But I read it and it was very like objective and very, which isn't a bad thing. Like it's good to be objective. But it was very cut and dry, I guess.
Mm.
It was very like, Harold walks over, he sits in the chair, he da-da-da-da-da.
And you mean not in
and-
a Royal Tenenbaums kind of way.
Exactly, yeah. But like, it was very like cut and dry, very, I don't want to say bland, but it was
Yeah.
just objective and
Like,
there.
Just descriptive.
Yeah. So I was like, for a while, I couldn't put my finger on it. And then I was like, this screenplay to me, when I read this, when I read what you've written, if I didn't know you, this doesn't communicate to me that you as a writer love screenwriting.
Huh, that's fascinating.
Like it just communicated that you put words on a page.
It's almost
And-
like technical writing. Like here's how you
yeah.
assemble the charbroiled grill.
Yeah, it was almost like I don't want to say like, it was a chore or
Right,
anything,
right.
like, or it felt like a chore for you to do. Because I know he enjoys writing and I know like he wants to get better and all that. And he's a great writer. But this particular one, it was like, I'm not I just don't, when I picture you sitting down writing what I'm looking at right now, I don't picture you like leaning forward into the MacBook.
I don't feel you taking any great joy in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just it feels a little like a thing that you have to do.
I love that observation.
And I don't want to read a screenplay that the writer is not enthusiastic about.
I love that. Because if I finished that paragraph, I would sit back and I'd just be like,
yeah.
Damn,
I can't
good.
wait to see what comes next.
Dude, I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it feels like Diablo Cody, like here, the author of Juno, like really enjoys what she's doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really enjoys it. And I think that's probably my favorite thing about the whole screenplay.
And it's really
beginning to end.
Yeah, and it really comes through in the movie.
Totally.
Like it's not that you hear the writer's voice in a bad way. And I don't mean that, because there are things where you see someone who's self-important and they're trying to do their thing. You know, we've all seen that movie too.
Yeah.
But like it's just a fun ride.
Yeah.
Like that whole movie is just a fun ride.
Yeah. And that's a great point. Like at the danger of being self-serving, or at the risk of being self-serving, try to enjoy what you're writing.
Yes.
And try to convey that through the page.
So that's a really fascinating like matrix to look at it through, because my short, my 35, 36 page or whatever it is, it gets really dark.
Mm-hmm.
But and again, not to be self-serving or anything, this is just, we're just being like real about this process.
Sure.
When I wrote Fade to Black, I like cried.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what was that about? Where did that come
Chris,
from? Like, what?
Tone down the pretentiousness.
I know. Seriously.
Yeah.
It wasn't because it was beautiful, or it was just like, A, I finished.
Yeah.
And B, I really feel like I took the viewer there. Like I feel like they felt what I was feeling when I wrote it. And that is, in and of itself, whether you're doing something that's really fun and hilarious like this, or you're doing something that's dark and serious, like when you write well, it feels
totally
awesome.
And I guarantee, like any great screenplay you read, any screenplay of a great movie, I should say, anytime you pick that up and start reading, I don't want to guarantee it, but I'll guarantee it. Like, you will read it and you will say, the writer enjoys writing.
Right.
And you can tell.
Right.
And it's not like,
and it's contagious.
Yes. You feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it makes you want to keep reading.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's some of the greatest, like, I almost would say that, like, that's one of the best things I've realized lately.
Yeah.
Is like, I want to make my writing something someone enjoys, but I have to enjoy it in order to get there.
If you don't enjoy it, they're sure as heck not going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
On that note, let's go look at the beginning of Arrival, because
totally.
I want to look at it through that lens.
Totally different vibe too.
Oh, 100, completely different vibe.
Yeah. It's like almost the complete opposite. So we have Arrival pulled up here. And context, this is some encouragement for you aspiring screenwriters. Before this movie, Eric, I don't know how you say that, Heiserer, was an English teacher in North Carolina.
Wow.
Never written a screenplay.
Really?
Yes.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, have that to look forward to.
Oh, also real quick, page up, because I want to point out something. Final shooting draft.
Yes.
What that means is this is quite a bit different than his first draft. And it's probably they say there's three films that you make. There's the film you write, the film they shoot, and the film they edit. It is almost certainly going to change.
It's almost certainly just not going to be your movie by the time it's done.
Sure. Like, it's going to be a different thing, because there's the thing you wrote, then there's the thing that they shot, and maybe it could be because it's like, oh, we weren't able to pull that sequence off, or it may be because, oh my gosh, there was this in this scene, there was this magic between these two characters that we just needed to give that more time, which meant we had to cut that scene later down there. Whatever.
Or it's like our budget is this, or a new director comes in and sweeps everything off the ground, like worst case, For what it's worth, though, this may be the final shooting draft, but Eric here is still the only credited writer, which means another writer did not come in these are all still his words.
Which brings up a great point. I want to go back to rules for just a second. One of the things my instructor said, and after talking to my friend Neil, who's full-time screenwriter, studios are going to try, if you have a weak grasp of a good script that you wrote, and it's not because they're jerks, it's because they're like, we're going to spend a gob of money on this, so we're going to bring in some writers that have done 58 other things, and we're going to attach them to this project. And if you have a loose grasp on your story, let's say it gets greenlit, let's say they bring in 2 other writers, you might be the last writer on that page. But if you can say, this is why this happens, this is why that happens, this is why this happens, when this happens, the way this happens, because, if you can demonstrate that you understand why your story is good and why it needs to be the way it needs to be, you will be the sole
they'll respect you,
or the first writer.
Yeah. If you have a loose grasp on your story, then you're going to lose it.
And that is all about knowing the rules and knowing how to work them.
That's right. So let's see if Eric enjoys writing, shall we?
Yes, let's.
Yeah. All right. How about you read this one?
Okay. Exterior lake house, sunset. The sky is a shimmering expanse of stars packed together. Louise, VO. Memory is a strange thing. External lake house, sunset. A modern home built on the shore with a large deck. The skin of the lake is a cloudy mirror. Louise Banks stares up at the sky, leaning against the deck's railing. Merlot glass in one hand. I love that it's Merlot. It's not just a wine glass. Louise has a clean, timeless look about her. The kind of woman who ages gracefully. Short hair. Louise, voiceover. It doesn't work like I thought it did. We are so bound by time, by its order. She steps back inside, a little tipsy, smiling. Interior, lake house, continuous. Stacks of books on shelves and tables, a telescope against a glass wall, and dry erase boards marked with foreign languages, different colors for different dialects. Louise' voiceover. Maybe there's a higher order. Mingled here are also dinner plates, candlelight. Louise. Darling, is there any more wine? She pauses when a deck light winks on outside. Her eyes sparkle when she sees something. A question written on the glass, lit from outdoors. Do you want to make a baby? Louise, voiceover. I used to think this was the beginning of your story. Ah, that's so good.
Yep. Eric likes writing.
Eric likes writing.
You can tell.
And Eric's good at writing.
Yeah. And like it's a totally different feel.
Oh, completely.
But it's like just as, I don't want to say because Juno is very descriptive.
Yeah.
And especially it has that big long block at the beginning to kind of help you there. But this is like super descriptive for how minimalist it is.
In a completely different way. Right. But that is an absolute pleasure to read.
Totally.
Like when you get to the end of the page and you're like, what's next? What's next? You know you're onto something.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, just from like the very first act, like the sky is a shimmering expanse of stars packed together. One line.
Yeah.
And it's like, you could have just said, there are stars in the sky.
Yeah.
And there are like,
we talk about like a bouillon cube. You can buy these things called bouillon cubes at the grocery store. And if you're making gravy, you buy this little tiny cube and you dissolve it in like half a gallon of water and it makes amazing brown gravy.
Uh-huh.
But if you ever like pop the bouillon cube in your mouth, it's just like, it's too much flavor. And that's like, if you can write that much description in a single line, it's like bouillon cube description, which is amazing.
Yeah, that's incredible. And again, any screenplay worth reading is going to be descriptive, concise, and visual.
Just
and
like engaging.
And
like I'm engaged.
To read.
Yes. One other quick note.
Yeah.
If you want to be, now, if you don't care about, if you're avant-garde and you don't care about, I don't care if I write a great screenplay. I just want to write what I want. I want to make my art. That's totally cool. Not throwing any shade on that whatsoever. Might get made, might not get made, might whatever. If you are really into kind of niche, avant-garde, whatever your thing is, and you're like, oh, well, I like these obscure, I like these anime films about cab drivers and luchadors.
I like French films from the 1800s.
Right.
And only those.
And that's cool. But if you're interested in being a working screenwriter, like a person that people will either hire to write material for film or who will buy a script that you've written, read successful screenplays. You'd be like, well, I don't go for all that, that popular stuff. It's like, well, okay, then maybe don't have the goal of being a successful screenwriter. I know that sounds
if you want to understand why screenplays are successful, then you should read successful ones.
And I heard a guy one time, and it made me sick. He kind of boiled, it was the whole hero's journey kind of thing. And you could do Save the Cat or McKee, or there's a bunch of different flavors of the same thing. But he did this whole like, oh, here's how all these films have the same recipe. They have the same recipe.
Yeah,
it's like, okay, I get the point, but you really just. It's not about demystifying the greatness of the movies. You just are saying anybody who punches these 12 buttons is going to have a hit on their hands. That's not true. No. It's really important to read screenplays that have done well, or read screenplays that work for you. Read screenplays that appeal to you, but find ones that have been successful, because successful screenplays are successful for a reason.
100%. Yeah. I mean, there's like 1,001 reasons why your screenplay will not work. And I say will not because
100%.
It won't at first.
Right.
And and I can confidently say that all of my scripts do not work when I first write them. And I'm sure you can say the same about yourself.
But the other thing that's important about like whatever kind of beat system you want to use, or whatever you want to call it, like the great thing about it, rather than just like, I'm just going to dive in and start writing, man, I'm just going to go.
Yeah.
Like there's something that seems real appealing about that. But I'll tell you what's great is when
it's real appealing until you get stuck on page 12.
Absolutely.
And then,
when you find a giant plot hole when you're doing beats, it's so much easier to find it there.
Totally.
And to fix it there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because if you're trying to if you run into that when you've got, 48 pages under your belt and you're like,
dude, I can't tell you the number of times where I've run into something like that.
Yep.
And it's like, I didn't foresee this when I had the original idea. But I sure am glad I'm not on page 57 wondering what to write next, because back on page 29, I did this whole thing and I'd have to rewrite that whole section. And
you may trash an entire idea just based on where it hangs up in the beats. And that's okay.
And you may find the solution to it months and years later.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. If it works on 15 note cards, it will work on 150 pages.
That's right.
If it doesn't work on 15 note cards, the chances of it working on 150 pages is almost zero.
Yeah. You will have a very tough time, I'll say. And again, from experience.
Or you'll make a not great product.
Totally. Yeah. And to this day, Chris and I have dozens of screenplays in a drawer that are half finished.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
Terrible and will never be touched or see the light of day.
We have some that are like the first 30 pages are rocking.
That's right.
And then
page 31 happens. Yeah. And suddenly it's not.
Speaking of page 31, our producer has just flashed that we are over budget on time.
Oh, no.
Big thing screenwriters do a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, we do that a lot.
Yeah.
That's all right.
It's been awesome.
It has been awesome. Chris, thanks for coming along.
Thanks for joining us.
I'm sure we can do another one of these at some point.
I would love to.
If the viewers so demand it.
Yes, indeed.
Indeed.
Because it is all about you, the audience.
That's
not about us.
Except when it is about us.
Except then, yes.
Yes. All right, guys. Thanks for coming along. Great episode as always. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell, all of those only once, as we have stressed often, or 3 times, only an odd number, never twice, because that undoes it. But hope you enjoyed. Let us know if you want to see more like this, and we will see you next time.